Michael Reel vanished on July 17th, 1983. It happened on Rowan Mountain during a family camping trip. No one saw him leave, no one heard a scream. One minute he was there, and the next, the woods had taken him. For 7 days, the forest kept its silence. But when Michael was found, sunken eyes, bleeding feet, too weak to cry, he said something that would haunt the search teams for years. "I only walked at night," he said, "and I hid when the sun came up." Every night he moved through the darkness, branches tore at his skin, the cold chewed at his bones, but he kept walking, mile after mile. No compass, no food, no shoes. He slept on the roots, curled beneath moss-covered stones. As the world turned hot and loud by day, he disappeared, swallowed whole by the undergrowth. But when the night came, he walked. He said the dark was quieter, that something moved with him, just behind the trees. Never close enough to see, never far enough to forget. He followed it, or maybe it followed him. Michael never spoke of what he found out there, but those 7 nights became a kind of legend, not of survival, but of transformation. Because in the dark there are no maps, no mirrors, just breath and fear and instinct. This story isn't about Michael Reel. Well, not exactly. It's about what happens when you leave the fire behind and step into the forest with nothing but your will to survive. This is my one-night survival. This is where we ran One Night Survival the last time, and I want to start here. There's no real plan with this, especially this time, but it was here that, and this is where I slept all night. Well, I don't sleep on these things, but this is where I stayed that night. Anyway, I'm going to go take a look at some of the other places I want to be this evening, and tonight I'm hoping to do this without a fire. I was wondering where my slate was. It's in there. If this is your first time watching a One Night Survival video, some native tribes call it a vision quest. It's where you go out, you survive the night without any assistance. Now, obviously, I have clothing to assist me tonight, but the first few times doing this, I wanted to use a fire and different things, and this one I want to try and do no fire. This is my second One Night Survival for this year. This one is going to be a bit of a spiritual vision quest, I think is the word for it. So if you're joining me today, I just want to welcome you, welcome everybody
that's coming along on this journey. There are still midges about, so I'm looking at these and I'm like, I'm going to go a bit higher up. The higher I go, the less insects is going to be today. But I need to take my time. I don't want to overheat. And I've got 12 hours to go before any of this changes, before I get out of here. I hope you enjoy the little journey with me, with no fire, no tools, nothing but the clothes on my back. So thanks for popping in and pressing play on this video.
And I just stumbled upon a very big deer, and he made a very big noise. There he is again.
Oh, that's nicer already. Just slow down the air, slow down the cold, take the cold off. I've just been climbing for the last while, and that climb has created some issues with sweating. I'm looking forward to this one. I was kind of dreading the last one, but now I understand that the dread is part of it. Does that make sense? It's that simple. You just will not know what this is about until you do it. There's a nice wind here. We're going to want to get out of that after a while. We want to get in somewhere a bit tighter, warmer.
It would be nice to go back up onto high camp tonight, but it really is just too cold.
I'll sit down under this root ball off this tree root, and there's a nice seat there. One night survival is it's interesting because I feel like I'm trying to connect with nature, but yet what's natural about bringing cameras and lights? Well, part of that is a connection with nature. There's a bit of a conflict. The one I did in March, I had a phone call through the night. You know, it's nice and all. People want to be there with you. They want to be helpful or help you with getting through the night. But maybe, you know, you have to be alone. Maybe you can't make phone calls. Maybe you can't do lives or do anything like that. Maybe the whole purpose of this is to get used to this, sitting in a forest. It's a Wednesday night right now. It's a difficult thought to think about being awake all night. I'm kind of looking around going, is there anywhere I could try to sleep? And what will that be like to try to sleep tonight here? Between 1 and 3 in the morning, there's supposed to be some awesome stars. I remember when I first thought about one night survival, what it would mean. 14 hours of darkness. How incredibly difficult that would be. To make it through 14 hours. In the cold. And I thought, well, you don't have to do that. You can just talk about it. You can say what you would do. And I said, you know, if I was stuck out here for 14 hours, I'd light a fire. The fire would keep me alive. And then March 2024 came around. And myself, Hang Tough, Mick from Hampshire Outdoors, and Chris from Sticks Outdoors said we do a collaboration where we go out like this and light fires and sit by a fire all night. And now look where it is. March of this year, well, maybe I'm stepping too far forward. Then it became popular. Loads of people did it. Big groups of people did it in 2024. And then there were other ideas of taking 4 things rather than 1 thing. Myself and Sticks always had the idea of just 1 thing, but you change the 1 thing to something else. And this March was probably my favorite one, with the fire and the bow drill. That was definitely my favorite. Sitting with that tiny fire all night. Just a wisp of air. Oh, there's stars out now. I want to set up, I have 4 star lapses to do tonight. there's that steam in the air. It's just going to get colder and colder now. It seems like I can stop for about an hour, or not an hour, but about 30 minutes before I have to go again. I have to set off and start warming up. I can feel my legs starting already to get chilly, my shoulders starting to get chilly. So I'm going to go set up a star lapse. Because it is clear, I can see the stars up there right now. And then I'll come back in an hour, change the battery, start another. You know, for 3 seconds that you see of star lapses, that takes an hour. So each time you have to leave it and wait an hour between the next one. I just saw an animal over there. I was setting up the time lapse. Small, maybe a foot high. Strange though, almost looked like a wallaby or something. What does something small mean as an animal? He was just looking straight down the path at me. 2 green, goldeny eyes. They have that reflection because they have no filter. It's for their night vision. It hits, any light hits the back of the retina, and then it gets amplified forward again. So they get double vision from the light. It's quite an interesting adaptation for animals at night. But I went to investigate, and he just quietly slipped into the ferns. I didn't really get to identify it. Americans. Non-native New Age and wilderness training schools offer what they call vision quests to non-native public. However, despite the name, these experiences may bear little resemblance to the traditional ceremonies beyond fasting and isolation. Such use of the term vision quest has been criticized as cultural appropriation. That's interesting. So maybe trying to draw some sort of connection to that is wrong. They feel like it's an abomination of a vision quest. And I can understand that, so I apologize for anyone I've culturally appropriated, with those leading exercises derided as plastic shamans. Such exercises may include New Age versions of a sweat lodge, which has at times led to untrained people causing harm and even death, such as in the James Arthur Ray manslaughter incident, which involved a 36-hour non-native idea of Vision Quest, for which the participants paid almost $10,000. Like a number of other Indigenous ceremonies, the Vision Quest has been mentioned in statements by Indigenous leaders concerned about the protection of ceremonies and other Indigenous intellectual property rights. One of these documents in the 1993 Declaration of War Against Exploiters of Lakota Spirituality. In 2007, the United Nations adopted the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, the UNDRIP, which has given further support to Indigenous people's rights to protect their cultures and ceremonies and address restitution when intellectual, religious, and spiritual property is taken without their free, prior, and informed consent, or in violation of their laws, traditions, and customs. It's interesting, isn't it? So one night survival is one night survival. It is not a vision quest.
Spinning webs. It looks like a one-night survival shelter.